Well, Dublin-based charity Inner City Helping Homeless has run a Santa Box Christmas appeal for the last 6 years to help those who are homeless and living in poverty.
And this year, because of COVID-19, it's all gone online. And our reporter Brianna is finding out how you can still get involved. Good morning, Brianna.
Good morning, guys. That's right, Santa's North Pole has moved down to Glasnevin this morning. As you can see, the volunteers from the ICCH are packing boxes for families. I think there's set to be nearly 1,000 families set to spend Christmas in a hotel this year. Brian joins us here this morning.
Brianna, how are you?
Brian, it's lovely to be here. Explain to me what's going on. What's the Santa Box Appeal 2020?
So obviously COVID-19 has changed a lot of things for our people every year. So normally we have our physical Santa Box Appeal, which usually ends in a big event at the end in December, usually the Philip Lewis in Condy Station. So we kind of understood this year with COVID that it's going to be very different for people. Like a lot of people are working from home. So what we've done this year is we're still doing the physical appeal because a lot of schools and stuff want to take part in it. But what we did was with our partners Expleo, we created a virtual version online. And people can then go online, they can choose an adult or a child, they can choose the gender, they can choose the age bracket, and importantly, they can enter a personal message that our volunteer elves that you see here will write into a Christmas card and put into the boxes, and they'll be distributed to adults and children in emergency accommodation or in direct provision centres.
And I've got a box in here in front of me. It looks like potentially a Dublin fans box going by the colours. So these are some of the things that we're seeing. So what should people be putting in these boxes?
So what we will put in will be the likes of a hat, scarf and gloves, toiletries, some chocolate.
Essential chocolate, very important.
Very important. And for a child, we would include maybe a small book or a small toy. And as I say, most importantly is the personal message, whether that's a Christmas card or a gift tag. And that stems back to about 4 years ago in March. I remember being out on outreach at the GPO, and the guy asked us were we the people that gave out the boxes the previous Christmas. And he went into his pocket and he pulled out a card. And he had kept that card nearly 4 months because of the message that was in it. So that kind of highlighted to us when we wanted to do the virtual appeal that the personalised message is a huge part of it. So that's why we included that in the flow people use.
Because it's not just children these boxes are going to, it's adults, and that might be their only Christmas present that year.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we come across on a regular basis. Like some people might be on the streets and might not even speak to anyone on Christmas Day. So having that personal present and having that box and having that card can really mean the world to someone. And you know, our teams will be out in the street probably on the 23rd distributing them to people that are sleeping out in the street every single night.
And through your work, how many families do you think are deciding between Christmas presents and basic necessities like food on Christmas Day?
That's a huge problem, yeah. So prior to COVID-19, Social Justice Ireland said that there was 680,000 people in the country living below the food poverty line, and 200,000 of those, shockingly, are children. So we've heard stories about people that are sacrificing their own meals so that the child can have something to eat going to school. So
it's hidden because the parents end
absolutely,
up sacrificing their children.
Massively, because people will sacrifice food in place of rent or in place of electricity bills and things like that. So we're there for those people, you know, and we feel that because of COVID-19, the PUP payments, so many people lost their jobs. We've had a huge demand for support, and this year it's essentially we're not just supporting people that are homeless, we're supporting anyone that needs it.
And charity-wise, you're in the same boat as many others in that you haven't been able to run your big scale events. How has it been impacting you and your ability to help?
Yeah, so we saw a huge amount of fundraising events cancelled during the summer for obvious reasons, you know, it's understandable. So what we've had to do is kind of adapt and try to go online as much as possible. So obviously with the virtual Santa Box appeal, that was one element of it, but we also created an online shop where people can buy ICHH branded face masks, so it keeps them safe, and it also is a donation to the charity as well. So I think a lot of charities like ourselves have had to improvise and innovate, and our volunteers will always innovate, so you know it's worked out fine for us.
And back in March, we were here when the food bank was going, and you were saying that there were families and people who had never had to ask for charity before suddenly relying on your services to fill their pantry. Has that changed any in the last few months?
I think it's increased. So we would expect now next week, Christmas week, to give out between 500 and 700 Christmas hampers. So the Christmas hampers would include your non-perishable foods and a little bit of Christmas extra thrown in as well. So that'll be a huge operation next week. And also we're doing a Christmas Day dinner in association with the Mendicity Institute. So it's going to be a busy run into Christmas for us, but unfortunately the demand is there. And as I say, we've all had a tough year with COVID-19, but I think for anyone that's homeless, particularly living in emergency accommodation or on the streets, it was definitely a lot worse than we had.
And if people at home want to get involved and they want to donate, how do they go about doing that?
So to take part in the Santa Box appeal, they can go online to ichhsantabox.online, And on that, they can choose the adult or child, and they can choose the age and the personal message, and that will run until Sunday. But anyone looking to support us with food or donations from companies can get in touch with our office on 01888 1804 or info@ichh.ie.
And lastly, we've heard from the big man himself that he will be able to deliver presents to hotels and emergency accommodation, isn't that right?
Yeah, so we hear that every year from children that come in and use our services, that they're concerned that Sandy won't be able to find them if they're in a hotel or B&B, but as we know, Sandy always finds a way to get to people, and the secret is chimneys aren't really needed, so they'll absolutely be found. There's no problem with that. The big man always never lets us down, and I'm sure he's been in quarantine for 2 weeks before he comes and does his travels on Christmas Eve.
Well, you heard the big exclusive here first. Let's go back to the studio.
Yes,
Thanks,
thank
Brianna.
you for that, Brianna. Fair play to.
Yeah.
It's just incredible, isn't it? The numbers of people that they're trying to help out there.
Do you know what really resonated with me there when Brianna said that a lot of people who are sleeping with the Christmas may not even talk to anyone on Christmas Day.
No.
Like, we're worried about who will we be able to hug and see and how will we mix our bubbles. But to think that you mightn't even get to talk to someone, which is why the personalised message is so important. And it's lovely, if you go online, I'm just looking at the website here, on the iechh.ie website, you can choose whether you want to give to an adult or a child, man, woman, boy, girl. And for children, I know my guys would particularly love this. They would probably want to give to kids their own age.
Of course would. Nice.
And, you know, feel like they're having a hand in choosing what they get. And also that message, so important that they'd want to say, you know, hope you're all right.
A lovely message just to resonate with people, because we talk about Christmas being such a wonderful time, something that we're also excited about, catching up with family, but exactly like you say, it's such a stressful time and a lonely time.
Yeah,
you know,
really
for
lonely.
people who maybe, you know, aren't going to catch up with people, and also stressful time for parents and people who want to give presents but they can't do it. So
Absolutely.
to try and help out, we talk about being kind and trying to shop local and support local, but actually it's about supporting so many other people as well. So it's a super initiative, and it's been going for so long. I just couldn't believe the numbers they were talking about. Over 200 people below the poverty line, 200,000 below the poverty line. Such difficult times out there for so many people, particularly with what's going on with the coronavirus and people losing jobs, and people who would have had money going into Christmas all of a sudden don't have that money, and as Brianna said, going into the food banks and would normally be asking for a bit of help.
Yeah,
Now they are
exactly,
asked
that's it.
for
Now
help.
they find themselves in those circumstances.
So Santa Box appeal, absolutely, just 20 euro.
Yeah.
You can write a message, pick your age group, boy, girl, super.
Well worth doing if you can.
Yeah, no, listen, definitely good to help out. How are you doing that?